Once upon a time, deep in an enchanted forest, lived an elusive unicorn. She spent her days enjoying the sounds of nature, napping in the speckled sunlight, and keeping the water pure and clean. She led this simple life as the forest guardian for several hundred years. One day, a traveling group of hunters caught wind of a unicorn residing within the forest from the local townsfolk. Blinded by greed at the opportunity to create a fortune from an authentic unicorn horn, they formulated a plan to capture the beast in the dead of night, to take her by surprise and not alert the villagers to their scheme. As the witching hour approached, the hunters packed their bags and traversed deep into the forest, traveling by the faint light of a single lantern. The air was thick and heavy, shrouded in an unusual silence, like the forest and all of the creatures within knew there was a presence that did not belong. Finally, after hours of searching, a beam of moonlight illuminated the ghostly white coat of a sleeping unicorn. Her mane and tail shimmered iridescent colors, and her horn gleamed in the dim light. Her otherworldly beauty was unlike anything the hunters had ever seen before, and caused them to pause momentarily and contemplate if what they were doing was wrong. However, greed soon coiled back around their corrupted souls, and they readied their rope to capture her. In an instant, the rope was thrown over her head and tightened around her neck. The unicorn awoke in a panic, let out a cry of alarm, and launched herself onto her hind legs. The rope snapped, causing the man holding the rope to lose his grip and fall, accidentally knocking down his fellow hunter who was carrying the lantern. The unicorn dashed as fast as her legs could take her, running until she found a deep cave to hide in. The lantern that had fallen on the ground ignited on some nearby foliage, which soon erupted into a massive flame. The fire ripped through the forest, consuming everything in its path until there was nothing left to burn. As dawn cracked over the horizon, the unicorn crept out of the cave to see if the hunters were gone. She was left to find a desolate wasteland that had once been her beloved forest. Shock and horror coursed through her entire being. How could this have happened? This couldn't be real. Her beautiful forest was just here hours earlier. Pain could not begin to describe what she was feeling. It was as if a piece of her had been forcibly ripped away and exposed, festering in the intense morning light. Only memories of what was once there remained. The crushing weight of the situation was far too much to process or bear. As she warily walked along the scorched earth, her cloven hooves coated in a thick layer of ash, a small, bell-like noise caught her attention. A fairy, one who had also resided in these woods, was caught beneath some blackened roots, critically injured from the fire. The unicorn immediately bowed her head, touching the tip of her horn to the poor creature to heal it with her magic. The fairy instantly made a full recovery, all of its wounds mended and energy restored. She fluttered her dainty wings and jingled merrily in thanks. She took pity on the unicorn and decided to help her to show her gratitude.
Dearest unicorn, I can't stand to see the pain in your eyes. I know what this forest meant to you, and to all who lived here. I can't go on knowing you'll be forced to move from forest to forest, always hunted and harmed by man's greed. I'm eternally grateful that you've saved my life, and so now I will save yours.
The fairy then cast a spell on the unicorn, enveloping her in a warm, comforting blanket of magic. As the bright and dazzling light began to fade, what's left was a beautiful maiden with a purple gem on her forehead where her horn once was.
Listen closely, unicorn. You no longer have to live in fear. You can begin a new life, experience new things, and create new bonds. However, please be cautious about who you expose your true identity to. You must be certain of their intentions. This new form is convincing, but you still must do your due diligence to protect yourself. Now run. Run through the ash and bramble, through the misty meadow, and stop once you hit a small seaside town. There you can start fresh and enjoy a new beginning.
And so, the unicorn did as the fairy told her. She ran as fast as her new human legs would take her, out of the burnt remains of her former home and through an unfamiliar shrouded meadow. As she hit a break in the mist, a new sight unveiled itself to her, a deep blue shimmering ocean. It was unlike anything she had ever seen before, and somehow, she was filled with a sense of calm and peace as a warm, salty breeze brushed through her hair. This is where her new adventure would begin.